Hey everybody, this is Crunchy Sue, cooking my country style again. I'm doing some hors d'oeuvres. Actually had some bella mushrooms. Couldn't wait to do this recipe again, but I'm giving it a little twist. Husband doesn't know. So what I've got is perfect size for little hors d'oeuvres, bella mushrooms. I also have some homemade spinach artichoke dip, made with fresh spinach, not the canned spinach. We don't do canned stuff. And then I have a cup of Special K, or actually not Special K, it's Kellogg's Corn Flakes, breadcrumbs for those of you who are watching your gluten intake like myself, with a half a cup of Mexican cheese shredded. This is so simple. You heat your oven up to about 400. Then what you're going to need is some, excuse my reach, some olive oil. Now the olive oil is to put on the outside of the mushrooms. Just put it in your hand. That's what we use to keep the jalapenos oils from getting to us, right? Remember? This is to keep them from sticking to the pan. Also gives them a nice flavor if you put olive oil on the outside of the mushrooms. So you just rub them on there. This is a little impromptu. I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna make these. Better share, right? Okay, so that's that. Messy fingers, but this is all good because that's the oven telling me it's ready. And you're only going to put these in until you see the cheese has melted through it really well. Probably maximum it's going to be about 10 minutes, I guess. And we might have time for that. And so I'm doing just the outsides of them. And when I put the stuffing part in it, then that is when the olive oil that's on my hands will get on the insides. So not for the artichoke spinach dip though. So you just take a teaspoon, because these are not that big mushrooms, and you just put basically a teaspoon in each one, and put that in each mushroom cap. Now you can do this with pretty much any vegetable, honestly, that can be filled. You can do an acorn squash and put the artichoke spinach dip in it if you like. I just like acorn squash by itself, but I'm going to show you these when I go to put the other recipe that I did with this. I actually put an egg in it to bind it up, but it sometimes if you don't have enough of the other filling stuff, it tends to be a little dry or crunchy. I like crunchy. Okay, this is with the artichoke dip. You just take the cheese and breadcrumbs and kind of like smack it on top. All that does is gives it a nice little crispy, cheesy top for when you're eating them. That. Well, this was just something I thought of. You know, we don't do a lot of hors d'oeuvres growing up. We did mostly like just the fresh veggies and stuff like that. But when you have beautiful bella mushrooms like this, you just have to do something with them. And you can cook them plain all day long, but if you can stuff them with something, crab meat's another good one in these, by the way. Get you some of that crab meat dip. There's a Cajun crab meat dip for you all that like a little bit of spice in your life. And I'm going to put these in here. These may not even take 10 minutes. I'm saying 10 minutes at 400 because it's a higher temperature, number one, and I don't want them to burn, but I do want all the flavors to get in there. Just like this. There's that. Got 2 more to go. Like I said, my oven is already heated up, ready for me. And then I'm going to share with you this other dish I've got sitting on top while we wait on the mushrooms. Okay. Now I have a little bit of extra of this cheese and breadcrumb topping, and I'm going to use that for something else later on. I have an idea for that. Actually, it wouldn't be bad on this other dish that I have here as a casserole kind of thing. So I'm going to pop these in right in the oven. Set my timer. Now about halfway through, I'm going to check them. So, clean that off my hands there. Now, what I have over here, now I do apologize for the camera angle, but kind of, like I said, impromptu. My husband got some turnip greens. Now, I don't particularly like them unless they're seasoned correctly. And it's just like with collard greens. You have to have them seasoned right in order for them to taste good. Now, normally I would put like potatoes in here, maybe a piece of bacon or fat back. But instead, what I did was I put some onion in there, just like you would do with collard greens. And this was about, it's a 2-pound bag, maybe about a pound. It always cooks down. Put about a third of it in the pan because it's just him and I. And then you add about a cup of vinegar, about 2 cups of water. The vinegar is to soften the leaves up. And I don't put salt in there, but what I do put in there is you can find it, you just gotta know where to look for it. It's a Cavender's all Greek all-purpose seasoning. My mom used to use this on roast. It makes a roast taste wonderful. It has in it oregano, garlic. I knew there was garlic in there. Onion powder, and it won't tell you the other spices. That's where you have to taste it and figure, okay, what is that? I don't know about you, but I like to, if I taste something new, I try to figure out what it's made with. So I can make it by myself. You can put, some people like to put hot sauce in their turnip greens. I put hot sauce on my scrambled eggs and my hash browns. I put hot sauce on lots of things. But never done it on turnip greens. I might try it though. So then you just, with turnip greens, you just bring it to a boil, let it cook till in this case the onions are translucent. Then you want to taste it for saltiness if you need to. The Greek seasoning, to me, it's not salty, but it does give a good flavor. Let me see how this turned out. Just the right amount of distilled white vinegar. If you want more of, just like with anything that calls for vinegar, if you want more of the cidery taste, put the apple cider vinegar in there. It's a little bitier than the white. But these guys are ready. Got 8 minutes on my mushroom caps, so I want you guys to see how they turned out. I'm excited to see how they turned out myself. Ooh. Yeah, it's gonna be 10 minutes because the cheese is it's finely grated, and that's what you want. You want finely grated cheese for those, and it'll mix with the little breadcrumb things and the artichoke, spinach artichoke dip in there. I didn't realize that when I had a 1-pound fresh spinach, like a big salad kind of thing from the store. And I thought, oh, it'll cook down. Well, it cooked down, but then I had to add artichoke to it, and I had this, and it ended up being this huge dish full. So I had to figure out different ways of using it. And I don't think my mom ever used artichoke spinach dip. I know we used to have spinach dip, but it's something different. It's kind of like, you feel like you're eating something naughty when it's actually kind of good for you, except for the mayonnaise in it. So to balance the mayonnaise part out, I use olive oil mayonnaise. So this has olive oil inside it and outside it now, which is going to be fabulous. And let's see, come on. You know, it's terrible when you have to wait for something to cook. I hate making y'all wait, but I want you to see how they turned out. I'm anxious to see. I need to put my oven light on. I can peek at it in a couple minutes, because I don't want to burn them. There's nothing worse than a burnt bell mushroom. There's nothing worse than burnt everything. Burnt toast. That's not good either. Now, when I was describing what you could do with the turnip greens, with what's left over, the cornflake breadcrumbs and the grated cheese, if you want a cheesy turnip dish, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to do this one. I need a dish. I need a dish. Oh, I need a dish. I need a dish. I'm actually going to do this. The difference is, I'm going to do it in the microwave. If I wanted a crispy, crunchy topping for it, I'd put it in the oven. Actually, like I could do it with the mushrooms at that temperature. So now that it's already cooked, all I'm basically gonna do is melt the cheese on top. But if I did it in the oven with adding extra cheese to it, it would get a little brown, crispy look to it. I'm gonna give this a shot. I come up with ideas as I'm doing things. My kids growing up, you end up with leftovers a lot of times, especially when you're picky eaters like my daughter was. And so we had this night. It was basically a leftover night. I called it try something new night. And as soon as I said try something new night after the first time I did it, they go, oh God, Mom's gonna make something with the leftovers. It was always something good. They just didn't like the fact that it was leftovers. But it's always food in a country house. Well, it's not in my country kitchen, no. So there, I put it on the greens. And I was heating something up in here. And it's done, being warmed up. Some barbecued ribs that my husband made. He's a fabulous cook on the grill. I can't grill for nothing. Tried it. And I got real nervous one time. He had me babysit his ribs. Well, he went and ran some errands. I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to ruin my husband's ribs. Nah, I didn't. I can follow directions. So we're going to put that in there. Maybe 30 seconds just to melt it. Melt it on there. And we'll see how that turns out. Now let me take a peek. Getting there. Now, one thing I am going to do for these to get them kind of to melt a little bit quicker for the last 4 minutes is take some cooking spray and spray it on the top to give some moisture to the cornflake breadcrumbs. Because now the oil in the cooking spray is going to get hot, and that heat is going to make the cheese melt better. Or I might have to leave them in there another 5 minutes. I hope not. Let's see how they turned out. It's kind of cramped in this space today. Well, that looks pretty good. I mean, you can kind of see where the cheese started melting down into there. Don't know what that is, but I'll give this a little taste test. That was a very good idea. A very good idea. I mean, a side dish for our meal. Very, very good idea. I could have thrown that artichoke and spinach dip in there too. That would have been awesome. But you're on to the wire. In 3 minutes. Now I hope I put enough cheese in them. Sometimes with the artichoke spinach dip inside, it should be fine. I get nervous when it gets towards the end. Oh yeah. They are going to be wonderful. Use that. I'll put this on his plate. Everything tastes better with cheese on it, did you know that? When I discovered these cornflake breadcrumbs, I was so happy because I like to make homemade meatballs, but I don't want to use, you know, the regular breadcrumbs because of the gluten in it. And it's wonderful to find it. In one of those stores that you wouldn't expect to find them. Well, I'm going to see if these are ready to show you. It's been just about 10 minutes. Oh yeah, they look good. Now see, don't those look yummy? And they're just about ready. I'm going to leave them in for 3 more minutes, but this is how they look. This is what they're going to look like when they're basically done. So try these little bella mushroom beauties. It's real simple. You know, you have to get some artichoke spinach dip, your bella mushrooms, some cornflake crumbs, and shredded cheese. Put the artichoke spinach dip in first. And then the breadcrumbs and cheese, you mix it together by itself. And then put that on top, kind of seal it in. It keeps the artichoke spinach dip from overcooking. It gets it warm and hot, lets it go through the mushroom, but it doesn't like burn it or make it taste like it's spoiled. So that's the one thing with these, you don't want to leave them in too long. I'm just going to add 2 minutes to this. So I know that's all it's going to need. And that is my little hors d'oeuvre treat with the turnip greens. So you got a 2 for today. Okay. I hope you try it out. If you do, leave a comment, let me know. And like and subscribe. And as it is, this is my kitchen. And this is my country style cooking.